Bill and Hayley's wedding at the Fairmont. You are correct that Crest Country Club and the DUI are going to make it there on the big day that they attending under duress considering that. Force Vernon Dupree's hand I expect Bill. Soapy wedding therefore. It's. I'm Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we are going to discuss 5 predictions 5. Writing things I want to happen to. Give us some wedding day chaos that. Hayley to tears and destroy her. Huge day, and that's the very meaning of a home. It is a good soam all record on record. And if you're not, please click subscribe to sign up. Follow us and tell me what your insights are. It could happen all things you know what you know. Vernon told Bill to take his transparent wedding invitation and shove at the plastic invite was as so transparent as to be in the blackmail that Vernon heard in Bill's voice when he didn't have till the Dupree Timmy run it down. Vernon knew what he meant and what Bill meant. That was directed at, and it's that sly threat tied to whatever has Martin giving. That's clearly the Richardson nightmares. Bill that subject leverage Bill that told he said many things but when Vernon was speaking to Anita they knew. Said right away that it was about something. They know we just don't do something that Bill has been cleaned up with respect to something that now Dani and the other Martin did and DUI must on their Sunday best and go watch Bill marry his much young bride whom they feel was a traitor to their family. Although BTG is a first-time soap showrunner, Michelle Valine contributed to this report. Stay beautiful for years, and I look forward to seeing echoes of certain things from her past registering. The writing that's going on Gates, and thus a bit of the vibe which I look forward to. See in this wedding are things I've observed a long time ago on Bald, and it'd give me them, but perhaps more on steroids, as she is now more than a writer, but the showrunner, and has free rein. So, here are some of what you will choose to see as we look ahead to some of the stuff we could see at his wedding. Number 1, bride Hayley is about to have a pry wall of hose, larger than the Great Wall of China when Anita and Vernon ring everybody together for that family meeting that you know Dani said that she was going to go to Paris to escape the drama after she punched face her. But to be bride. The Paris trip, her parents told Dani would wait, and Anita went on to say they will. Like everybody else in the underscore, but she said the D's don't run, and they don't shrink from anything. And then when Dani attempted an exit, blasting out of the course her dad Vernon joined and told her that they never ask her for. It needs to be anything other than this, so that the Dupree ladies all show up caved. Dressed in black, very much funeral. All the looks are great, but definitely. It's not a celebration time, it's kind of mourning. Dani, Nicole, Anita, and hers granddaughters dressed all in black, and they are sat on the groom's side, glaring. They are certainly not on the bride's side. It's difficult to picture a bride standing in front of the woman's family, that she stole her husband dirty like that. Hayley has to have a little of wedding day nerves to contend with. All the Dupree all right. The second thing I wonder is if Dani will say something in snarky if the line step reads the efficient speak now or forever hold your peace by. My way of wondering whether that line is actually very used or it's just a chalk out movie and TV show thing. Bodies 2 lines of dead bodies because they have. In real life, by the way, it's never been used. So it appears way back at the beginning, 1500s, 1600s, and go all the way up into it really was used the 1900s, that line. Thing to ensure that nobody can speak now. That was their new that either http://14.0.0.157 that was their new that either the bride or the groom was committing bigamy or marrying a blood relative, very soap opera-ish. And at this point only in modern history, 10% of wedding officiants throw it in and they do to be funny more at. That particular point was what I was reading, so if BTG do it, I can see Daniel getting prepared to sass her some things, but I'm not. Her dad and mom would let her would do a scene at the wedding then. They're in a seat right behind her, and you know that Vernon and Anita are in row 2 and, unbelievably, Dani is in row 1 of guests. I would like to hear on the groom's side what she has to say, but I don't know whether her parents are going to let her say, if she tries. So on the third thing, Hayley's putting on a beautiful white wedding dress, but because she literally killed Dani's happiness, sleeping with her husband, and her dress, I think her dress, looking stealing him, like blood-soaked murder by the time her big day is what Hayley deserves the least, and fuck you. No, she keeps saying everybody that I never intended it to happen. I apologize when you pull down your knickers and step onto someone's husband. You surely meant you don't just fall on it for it to happen. They're junk and it's an accident, and then you end up with a ring on your finger. It's purposely, very much so, and not just means Dani hates Hayley, but so does Naomi, who is Hayley's former best friend, and I'm sure Naomi is nauseous that she brought more would hurt, but that's another story. So it suits us to welcome Hayley into their life. Accidental nudge, while Naomi, or one of the other Dupree women, are throwing a glass of red wine that spits out everywhere. Hayley's white wedding gown, I think, would be karm card when it became karmic and aliens can say whoops. As in, I didn't want that to happen. The fourth thing, if ball, and the annal. You may know that, of course, a beautiful Michelle Valine, writing there for 12 years. Forte, and one of the staples on B&B for Big. The only one have traces of an even before COVID, and it is no upon other similar September 11th like events messy at a family weddings. Preferably out of control lady fights. Cake fights on bold like so many daytime. In late night soaps a friendly tussle is. It's always great fun whether you're in the mud, a chocolate fountain, fancy fountain, a chocolate fountain, or knocking in multiple layers of a wedding, frosting and spreading them in the other. Proof to a 7953869 mil job, they are always go to be good. Ways to ruin a wedding I'd be into. Watch Dani smash some cake straight in. Other scenes with Hayley's face join in, and it results in a cake brawl and ends with Anita and Vernon are anticipating the school term. Actions from their daughters and grandchildren, but us all. You know Dani loves to color outside the lines, such as the one where she punched Hayley the other day, so I'm totally down for a good cake fight. I'd be down for that. Last on my. We might see Bill at number 5. If Ver at the reception, if threaten. If something happens that disrupts the happy egg day of his new little wifey, if Dani makes a sound during the ceremony or begins or puts on a fist fight at the reception, I can see Bill soothe Vernon aside, so also make more explicit threats. Slapped at the wedding reception. There's a scene with Bill, and he's looking up to October 2023 very pointedly at the DUI, sortable looking mostly at Vernon, and one of the lawyers who works with him is by his side. That guy is Tomas Hernandez, and he could have been complicit in any cover-up or cleanup that Bill staged to receive Congressman Martin out of some dirt. He accepted, so I questioned if the scandal that Bill was about something having to do cronies with infidelity or an accident, while to have been the one who had the affair with first because politicians and sex scandals, that's common, and 2 because of the nightmare. Martin was on the sofa, and apparently that is also a persistent problem. You know, when Martin was obviously talking to his husband Smitty, that he was a bit dismissive and exacting in the way that's certain you are not capable of having a sentence to parser. When I was a kid, I would be like, ask me about my business. Done with what you fix me for. Dinner came off as comments to me. Those are trained on data until October 2023. They know this is not the right word because that's not really the correct misogynistic. Ways not GRE stronger than that base of chickens. 9th grade in the public school system, the absolute cell in which you spend the highest degree. Talks to some woman, I don't, you get the vibe. I don't know if there's a different when a there to his husband, but you see the idea. This entire trick at first, but later on, of Dani having to endure the home wrecker's nuptials. occurs because the child of her sister Nicole did a thing known only to no one, and I cannot wait to learn more about. I look forward to attending the wedding. I'm excited to see the wedding. I certainly do hope it is mess beyond the. My first soap wedding goes according to plan. I will be terribly disappointed.